So the intention today is to give our listeners the courage to slow down and build something meaningful. Hello and welcome back to the STFU Moment Podcast with me, Akansha, and our lovely host, Kristy over here. Say hi.
Hello.
Today's topic is to talk about the overwhelm that we get through our passions.
This is such an interesting topic because people think that if you're doing what you love, then you can avoid the overstimulation, the overwhelm, the stress of it all. But it can peak really fast when you try to do your passions all at once.
What does overwhelm even start out as?
Overwhelm with your passions can start out as saying yes to everything because you're excited, you want to be doing all of your passions, like you want to be in that creative energy, so you're saying yes, 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 even if it's not aligned or the timing's not right, but you're just saying yes because you want to do it. Probably found this even starting out, or maybe even now, Akansha, is there things that you're still saying yes to because you really want to do them, but they should probably be a no for now?
Well, in all honesty, obviously, there's going to be moments when you're, as an entrepreneur, you're going to be saying yeses to the things that should be no. Looking back in my journey, I think when I initially started, I was such a yes, 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 yes person because again, you're so passionate about building your brand and your business and getting out there working that you end up saying yeses to the things that should have been a no. I remember this very early on, and there was this client who came in, and she had come in before for a service, and the next time she brought her sister in, and she wasn't okay paying the price, but it was a 2 hour long service. She asked me if it would be okay to do like a $40 off because she would be a regular customer, and at that time I'm young, I'm naive. I'm like, oh, 100%, we can do this because I wanted that clientele.
Yes.
I wanted that money.
Yeah.
And I ended up saying yes, and I did $40 off for both of them, and I didn't make as much money.
Mm-hmm.
Were they regulars? No. They want a discount the next time. And that was what I found, that yes, I do want to build my business, but I have to say no to discount because I'm devaluing myself. And that value, it's not just what you think in your head, it's what you've learned, it's the education, the things that you put in yourself. You're constantly learning about the business.
Yeah.
So when it came to that money aspect, I understood that no, I'm not going to be giving discounts unless and until I'm running a promotion, because everything has a cost. And being a business owner, you know this too. Like, we have, like, prices is not something that we usually make up, like, oh, this is what I want to charge. We take the cost downs of everything, and that's how we pay ourselves and the business for everything. So I think saying yes to a client that wants a discount and knowing that they won't be your customers for a long term, that's a valuable lesson that I learned. But I'm still learning. I'm still saying a lot of yeses to the things that should be a no, and it's because you want your business to work out and you're doing everything, but slowly getting to a point where your group will find you.
Yeah.
And your people will come to you and they'll be okay paying your prices.
Yeah. It's funny how yeses almost leads to even more overwhelm in the business because as you're saying, like, you are giving these services at a discounted price, but then you can't cover the cost of the product that you use. Exactly. And then your time, as you're saying, is valuable. So saying yes to customers just to get them in the door, or saying yes to clients and doing all these like little discounts and favors, leads to more overwhelm in the end because it was never aligned in the beginning. But as a new business owner, you're probably like, well, this is what I have to do to get people in the door.
Absolutely. And I mean, to think about it, you would never see those people going into big store brands or big service places and asking them for discount.
No.
But because you're new, they think that it's okay.
Yeah.
Because they can get a cheaper service, a good quality service for a cheaper price that they're not willing to pay, but those are not your customers.
Yeah.
I have not seen them in the last 4 years. So
Yeah. Lesson learned, right?
lesson learned. You always learn, right? And funny, I was just reading it yesterday. I actually saw it on Instagram and I reposted it. And this woman is talking about, so if you cannot pay for therapy, start your own business.
I mean, fair.
The lesson that I also learned through this is that we can have so many passions, but all of these yeses that should have been known, that should have been a no, can eventually stop us from building something meaningful in the longer run. My question to you is, what does slowing down look like for you? How are you building your business with the no's and slowing down, but still being true to your passions?
It looks like almost oversimplifying. You really have to get clear on what you want to hold the bigger vision, but you need to, if the bigger vision's up here, you need to be like honed in here. So it's almost like being in a relationship. It is a relationship with yourself, and you have to set those same boundaries with yourself as you would like a business partner or a partner in any form, because I'm passionate about, as many of us are, multifaceted, like passionate about so many things that we want to like do in this moment every single day, the same thing, like to build, but that's not realistic. It's not, it might be for some people, but for me, I really had to focus on one thing and let that build, and let there be kind of like you're going for like a degree. So you pick your major, you pick your major, and you can have a minor, and you can have like, you know, like a extracurricular, but you really have to choose within which season you're focusing on what. Because you can do it, you can do it all, but you're not going to build from a foundation that's solid if you're trying to do everything at the same time. So maybe moving into this like honing in, what did stepping back for you? For me, it's always been like, I need to slow down. But for you, was it something different? Like, what was it, the moment where you had to step back and reprioritize what you were giving your whole heart to, and at the capacity that you have now?
You know, it's interesting that you asked me that question because we've spoken about it a lot in the last few months, and I've been reprioritizing my life a lot more since December last year and figuring out what I truly want to do. So I've been meeting a lot of people, and I was always someone who would listen to anyone and everyone, thinking that they know the best because they've studied it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're so desperate for things to work out, you do everything that anyone is telling you, but inside of you, you know that this is not what you want to do.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, I was focusing on things that were not serving me well. And recently, I think just a few weeks ago, where I sat down, I took a masterclass on YouTube. It was just about YouTube and Instagram, just to understand how the platforms work. And while doing that, I realized that I was serving anyone and everyone in my business.
Yep.
Because I was so desperate to have my name out there that I forgot to build my foundations. Yes, I have my visions, I have my mission, I know what my priorities are, but I have services that I'm not happy doing anymore.
Right.
Or that don't align with the now version of the business. So what I ended up doing for the last couple of weeks is I sat down and I wrote everything on a piece of paper, not on my laptop, writing it down on a paper with a pen. And I didn't touch the foundations of my business because I'm very happy with it. But I'm restructuring my business. I'm restructuring it to what I want to talk about, what I want my client to look like. And we've heard this everywhere and seen this where people are like, describe your ideal client to the T. And I used to be like, who has the time for it? I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
But now, being in my 30s and having worked on my business and understanding the things that I didn't even have the capacity to understand back then, I'm seeing that, okay, these are the topics that I really want to work with. These are the people that I want to help with. So niching it down, making sure my content is aligned with me, and I don't have to post 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not overwhelming myself with that. I am choosing to only post 4 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making different content. I'm using the same content for my YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, whatever it is. I'm going to use the same thing, and I'm going to redistribute it. Going to look back, whatever is not working with me and my audience anymore, taking it out from Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
taking it out from TikTok. Not because I'm not proud of that work, but it's not what serves my business right now.
Yeah.
And having that clarity of that and that vision very straight that I want it to be a clinic. So I'm going to help women with PCOS, women going through perimenopause, postpartum, ADHD in women in 30s. It's such a huge thing
Yes.
that people don't talk about. So having it clear and down to the T is how I'm reclaiming and restructuring my business again.
Yeah, and that's just it, right? Like, it's not about making it easy for you. It's about making it clear. And when we talk about, oh, if you do what you love, like if you work doing what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, or whatever that saying is. It's true, but I find that you have to keep loving it. Yes. And if you come into this season and you're like, I'm not loving this anymore, then something's out of alignment. So you want to bring that back in. And I don't think there's anything wrong with looking at your business come the new year or come the next season. Like, you get to create whatever you want for yourself and your business and your clientele. And if you are no longer aligned with what you're bringing forward, like, your clientele's going to feel that. You're going to feel that, like, people are not coming in, or like you're not getting those influxes that you had when you were aligned and you were excited and you had the capacity to be the person you wanted to be and show up in that way. So I think that's so important for people to hear, because they think when you have a business, like, you don't, like, you make the business and then you don't touch it and you don't veer from it, and that's all that it is, and you don't get to create anything else, and it's just this linear thing. But it's not, because we're evolutionary beings. Like, we're always evolving in mind and body. And I think that is just really, really important. So thank you for sharing that.
No, 100%, because I think a lot of people are afraid of restructuring.
I think so too.
And they're very comfortable for being where they are, which is not necessarily a bad thing, to each to their own.
But the problem is when you get that overwhelm and you're like, I love this. Like, why am I stressed about this? Why am I feeling so overstimulated? And why do I not want to go to work in the morning? Right?
It's also going back to one of our last episodes, rest.
Yeah.
It's so important. Like, when you rest, your brain is refreshed. Your mind, body, soul is refreshed, and you start getting those new downloads. And, and the other thing that I did want to touch out is, when you're overwhelmed, don't go to a person that does not have a business.
Oh yeah. Don't take advice from somebody that you wouldn't want to be in their shoes.
Do not, because I know that your friends and your family want the best from you, for you, and they are only looking out for you. But the reality is that no one's in your shoes.
Yeah.
And they don't understand your business the way you do. So in those quiet moments, or in those frustrating moments, what I've started doing is writing my thoughts down. Rather than talking to ChatGPT, coming back to the sisterhood and business, like, entrepreneur woman that we're creating, talking to one of those.
Yeah.
How many times do I message you in a day, be like, Kristy?
Like, yeah, and it's true. And like, we do that for each other. But it's also like sharing, like, I know what you're building.
Yes.
So when you're having those moments, I can be like, Akansha, girl, get out of your own way. Right?
Yeah.
But it can be hard to hard to build something when you're like, I want to do all the things and I want to share this with people, and you're excited about it, right? There's nothing wrong with being excited with what you have. It's just, you need to know what the first step is. You need to know what the baseline is so that you can build on it. If you don't have something to build on, you can't go anywhere with it.
No. And that's where sisterhood and community is important, because the idea of doing everything by yourself, it is scary and it is daunting.
Very, very scary and daunting.
So Kristy, from a yogic lens, I want to understand what's happening when we choose one main focus.
The body enters a flow state. I love this so much because you find this in movement, in dance, in breath, like it, you enter when you can get on, that train track and you have a destination in mind and you are just with that one and you're in it. Like you're excited, you're lit up, it's like a full body hell yes. Your body and mind are now connected, and not only are they connected, but you're connected with all that is, like the oneness, the God energy, the source energy, whatever you want to call it. You are so plugged in that you're entering a flow state. So your creativity is going to be notched up, like full blast. You're going to have that like download of intuitive hits. Like everything's just going to come. And I don't mean that as in it's going to come easy and it's going to be linear and it's going to be like all sunshine and rainbows, because that's just not the reality of it. But even when those contrasting things come up, your body and mind already know, like, it doesn't matter because we're just going to get through this. And if we have to detour, we'll detour. If we have to restructure, we'll restructure. But I know where I'm going and I'm not jumping off this track. So it's from that state, I feel like we as women are unstoppable.
I genuinely love that so much, because it's so true, that intuition, and it's not a linear journey. It is a lot of ups and downs. It's like sometimes it can look like you move 1 step ahead, and then you're back 2 steps. But then the steps that you're taking back are strengthening your next step and making it much more stronger for you to take that leap of faith.
Yeah. Well, that's just it, right? Like you're gonna learn, you're gonna meet things that like don't feel good or don't feel aligned or just feel like, oh, there's this an opportunity to evolve here. But if you never take that one step and then take that 2 steps of what I call reflection, then then you're not gonna move forward, right? So I think the 2 steps back are important, even though in the moment it may feel really gross and not so good. But I think that in the grander scheme of things, you're gonna look back and you're like, oh, I needed those 2 steps back. Like I needed to refocus, or I needed to get aligned with my vision again. So Akansha, from an Ayurvedic lens, what happens when we align from that clarity lens?
It's interesting that you're asking that question, Kristy, because it's so fascinating when that clarity, and we talk about clarity, what it can do to your brain. Because a lot of times I feel like the prefrontal cortex starts balancing, starts functioning well. Your cortisol levels are dropping back to normal. You're not on that edge anymore. Your body is moving the way it's supposed to move. Your anxiety is calming down. There's peace in your body. The prana, the energy flow is flowing well. And you have that sense of everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to work out, because you're not working through your nerves. You're not on the edge that, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. How am I going to make this work? So it's beautiful how our words and the way we think and clarity, like small shifts, can do to your energy in the body. And being women, when we have 4 different weeks of different cycles going in our body before we hit the period, what it can do to balance our hormones, and your periods can feel much more nicer. The cramps can go down, because everything is energy. So that's what clarity does. And your passion, it builds. You want to sleep better. You're not waking up at 3 a.m. You don't have those anxiety pangs when, something overwhelming happens in your body and everything just feels like a calm sea. Not the
Mm.
calm before the storm, but a calmness
Yeah.
of the good flow, good waves where it feels cooling, refreshing, and the download that happens, as you said, because I think yoga and Ayurveda are so similar and they're
Mhm.
sister systems. So whatever you said, adding on to that, that's what's happening in the body.
Yeah. I want to invite our listeners that if you have something that you are passionate about, to avoid the overwhelm, choose yourself, choose what's aligned, and remain on the bigger vision, remain focused. Give yourself the same boundaries you would someone else so that you can remain in that flow state.
Most importantly, remember that you can have it all. Sometimes not all at once, having different seasons, wanting to restructure if you need to. I always have grown up hearing this from my mom, that listen to everyone but do whatever your heart desires,
Mm.
because people will talk
Mhm.
and that's okay. But you do what is the priority for you and create boundaries just the way for your business, just the way you've created for others in your life. And it's okay to say no.
Mhm.
With saying that, I hope you loved the episode today on overwhelm and know that we're here with you and walking this path with you, Kristy and I. We've both been in that stages and we sometimes still are. We're not perfect. And it's completely okay to feel overwhelmed. In those moments, take a deep breath, come back and realign yourself and sometimes meditate on it.